Hey Charlie, are you there? I was just wondering if you already know around what time you're going to be coming home today?
Yes, I am going to have to do a little bit of overtime. But that's not why I don't know what time I'll be coming home tonight.
What do you mean that you don't know what time you're going to be coming home from work today? I mean, how can you not know? Are they having you stay late for overtime or something like that?
Besides, I know that you want me to come back home early when I'm able to, but you don't seem to understand just how much work we have to do here. Well, I understand what you're saying, but the fact is that I just really can't promise anything at all right now.
Oh, really? I guess I really didn't realize just quite how busy you are. But, apparently there's going to be an event week at the local theme park, and Darla is really wanting to go. And anyways, she keeps going on and on about how badly she wants you to be there with her as well. So I was just wondering, you think that in a couple weeks when that is going on, if you could take her out and spend the day with her?
But I could just buy you guys a bus ticket or something like that, and the two of you could go instead, right?
I really think that you should go and do this. I mean, when was the last time that you spent so much time with your daughter?
I don't really think that's fair at all since you know how busy I've been at work lately.
So, you mean that you think you are going to continue to be busy for the foreseeable future? Because I remember you saying the same thing about being too busy to do any of these kinds of things 6 months ago as well.
Oh, really? Did I say that we were really busy at the office 6 months ago? I don't know if I remember saying all of that to you.
Well, you did, and while I can understand how busy you are and how hard you work, I think that the fact of the matter is that you're putting a bit too much of your efforts into your work and not enough with your family. I mean, I think over these past 6 months, I've barely even seen you at home except when you get back late and crawl into bed. I just wish that you would find some more time in your schedule to be able to spend time with us.
Well, I really don't know what you want me to say to that. I mean, after all, I still have work. I can't just not do my job because you want me at home more often.
I understand that, but it feels like your job has been keeping you late every day for a long, long time now. I mean, is it really so impossible to get just a little time off? Or even just leave your office at a reasonable hour? Darla is always asking about you and wondering when it is that you'll be coming home. But I feel like you're just always out, and sometimes there are nights where you don't even come back home.
And do you want to know why it is that I don't come home on those nights? It's because I have to work long and hard hours at the office overnight just to provide for you and Darla. So I don't really get why you're complaining so much about what I do for a living when you benefit as much as you do from it.
I'm not saying that I don't understand why it is that you work as hard as you do. I'm just saying that I wish we got to see you a little longer is all. I mean, I would love for you to finally come home in time for dinner and to be able to play with Darla afterwards.
What in the world are you talking about? Darla is a little girl, and there's no way that a kid like that would want to play with me at all.
You don't know what you're saying, Charlie. Darla is always talking about how excited she is to get to play with you when you come home.
Well, you need to tell her to quit putting all that pressure on me because I have work that I need to do. Why does this all have to fall on my shoulders, huh?
I don't understand. Are we having some kind of miscommunication? I don't understand why you're reacting like this.
All I'm saying is that I ask so little of the two of you, and you two are always wanting to get the world from me. And what do I get for all my hard work? I come home to a messy house. I mean, what do you even do all day that you can't even figure out how to keep the house clean by the time I get back from work?
Well, it's not like the house is dirty all of the time, and sometimes I just don't have the free time to clean the house. I mean, cleaning isn't all I do, I do the laundry, cook, and have to take care of Darla and drive her to all her appointments as well.
And so what? Why does any of that matter? Do you really think that you do as much as I do? Because if you think that being a housewife is a real job, then you're wrong. I spend all day outside of home in an office, working my butt off for the two of you. And yet you're telling me that all because of one messy kid, you can't even keep the house in running order? Not only that, but Darla's just a little girl. Maybe if she was a boy who ran around and was always making messes, then I could understand where you're coming from. But I don't hear anything but excuses from you right now.
Charlie, please. I think that you're being unreasonable. I mean, can't you just try and come home a little earlier, at least once a week? Or at the very least, please make some time for us on the weekend so we can at least do something fun then.
I only have a few precious hours every week where I don't have to think about work. In fact, I really don't think that you understand all the pressure that I'm under at all. I've been put on a new project under a new supervisor and have a lot of catching up that I need to do. So, I'm sorry, but you're just gonna have to wait. I mean, if I can do all of this for our family, then you should at least be able to respect the space that I'm asking for to do it.
I do understand that you're busy, and I do understand that you work really hard. But I'm also already trying really hard with you.
Well, I don't think that you're trying hard enough. I mean, really, I've already told you that I'm busy, and yet you insist on messaging me. I have work to do, and you're making right now very, very unproductive for me. Do you understand? So if you really do want me to get all my work done in time to come home early, then how about you just leave me alone and let me work for once?
I'm so sorry, Charlie. I really didn't mean to upset you like this. I just miss you is all.
If you're really sorry about all of this, then you'll never bother me with this kind of silly conversation ever again. I mean, really, you need to open up your eyes and realize that everything I do for you. So the least you can do is keep the house in order, take care of the kid, and not complain about it. You don't hear me complaining about my job, do you?
Charlie, please answer me. I just want to know when you're going to be coming back home.
I seriously can't even deal with you right now. I thought I told you that I had to go away for a business trip, didn't I?
You did, but it's just that Darla and I are sick and we both have fevers. I think that Darla is only getting worse, and I really want to take her to the doctor. So could you please come home to drive us there?
I seriously can't believe that you're trying to ruin my work all because you caught little colds. If things are really that bad, then just call a cab and get to the doctor yourself.
But I feel so sick, and I can barely even move without being in pain. I have no idea how I would even get myself and Darla out of the house in this state.
Are you kidding me right now? Are you a mother or aren't you? Because if you were really worried about the health of our daughter, then I think you would get off your butt and take her to the doctor.
But what about you, Charlie? I just told you that Darla and I are really sick. Aren't you worried about us at all?
I didn't say that I wasn't worried at all, and I don't appreciate you putting words in my mouth. Thank you very much.
Well, then can you please tell your bosses what's going on and have them cancel this trip of yours?
Isn't a trip okay? I'm not going on vacation to have fun and drink pina coladas on the beach. Got it? I have to leave and take care of business.
Charlie, I know that you're lying to me. I know that you're just going away to cheat on me right now.
Excuse me? Are you delirious or something? Did you actually just send me that message?
I know it's true, though. You're lying to me about your business trip, and I know that the truth is you're just going away to cheat on me.
Oh, give me a break. Is this really what you wanted to interrupt me at work for? You just wanted to talk about some crazy delusion you have that I'm cheating on you?
Does this mean that you're really just going to choose going away with this other woman over helping your own family?
For the last time, I am telling you that I'm not cheating on you at all. I think that your fever is finally starting to get to you and it's making you say crazy things. I mean, what is your deal? How could you just accuse me of something like that? In fact, if you have so much time to be indulging in wild fantasies of yours, then you can just take Darla to the doctor yourself.
But Charlie, I need you to do this for me. You're the only one that can do this for me. You know how far away we live from both of our parents, and our friends just moved away to a different town.
You know what that sounds like to me, Samantha? Not my problem. No, if you'll excuse me, we just arrived at the airport and I need to check in and go through security. So you'll just have to figure all this out by yourself. And don't even think about messaging me at all while I'm away on this business trip. I mean it. I seriously can't get any work done at all when you start with me. Just can it until I get back.
You don't care about what happens to us at all, do you? I can't believe that you're really going through with this.
Man, you really just don't know when to quit at all, do you? If you keep up this conversation with me, then when I get back, you and I are getting divorced. Is that what you want?
Are you really sure that you want to divorce me like this, Charlie?
It's not up to me, Samantha. It's all up to you. Because I am being a good husband by going to work every day to work hard for our family. And I can't just quit my job or cancel an important business meeting because my wife and daughter have little head colds. Who has even heard of someone doing that?
Okay, fine then. If this is the way that you're going to be, then I think that we're done here.
Oh, so now you're going to try and pretend to be mad at me. Are you kidding me? You've seriously been pissing me off ever since before I left the house. So if you really don't want me to leave you, then I think that you should keep your mouth shut, your thumbs off the keyboard, and your thoughts to yourself. Because I am not going to sit here and be insulted and accused of things that I've never done by a little parasite like you. Just shut up, clean the house, and take care of the kid. It really is that simple. Hey Samantha, what's going on here, huh? What's the big idea?
Oh my, and here I thought I wasn't going to be hearing from you for a long, long time.
Quit messing around and tell me where you are right now. I'm serious.
I don't really see why I should tell you when it's really none of your business at all.
Oh, come on. Will you just drop the attitude already? I want to know what is going on and why our place is just a complete mess. And why aren't you at home right now? I thought that you said you were too sick and had a fever and whatever. But I guess you're not too sick to go out and have fun and ignore your duties. I mean, really, did you think that I was going to let you get away with this? You need to get back here and clean up this mess now.
Charlie, your wife and daughter are no longer with us. This is Susan, Samantha's mother.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Is this really Susan? What's going on?
Well, first of all, you should know that I know all about the horrible way you've treated those two. But I'm texting you from Samantha's phone because a funeral is going on right now.
Hold on a second. Her what? Are you kidding me? Please tell me this is supposed to be some kind of joke. Then when you said that Samantha and Darla were gone, you meant... Please tell me that you're lying right now.
No, it really is true. The day after you left, I had to take them to the doctors. But obviously, things didn't go so well for anyone. Don't worry though, I'll handle things here.
Susan, I want you to know that I'm headed home right now.
Oh, don't even bother, Charlie. You would just get in the way. I never want to see your face again. And I certainly don't want you ruining the memory I have of my daughter and granddaughter.
I don't know what to say right now. But please, don't just leave me. I've always thought of us as close family.
Really? Do you really mean that? Well, it's funny you say that, because it appears as if you were cheating on my daughter.
Of course I do. And I really want to get back to pay my respects to Samantha and Darla. No, I really wasn't. But I know that Samantha was convinced that I was. I should have just explained everything to her, but I was so busy then.
I am not really interested in hearing what excuses you've come up with. But once I have all the legal matters sorted here, I can assure you that you'll hear from me again. Charlie, is now a good time to talk?
Oh, hey Susan. Yes, I guess we can talk about things.
No, actually, this isn't my mom, Charlie.
Wait a second. Are you telling me this is Samantha? I'm really talking to Samantha? But I don't understand. I mean, you're alive?
That's right, I am still alive and breathing. No thanks to you.
But this doesn't make any sense. My mom told me that she was at your funeral yesterday. Then she said that she was going to handle all the legal stuff.
Yeah, my mom meant that she was going to handle all of the moving stuff for us. But I don't think that she ever actually said that either of us had died.
I guess she never used those words. But she did say she was at a funeral. Did she lie to me?
No, she didn't. I took Darla and we've been staying at her place. But a couple days ago, one of her neighbors died, and so that's probably what she was talking about.
But then I got it completely wrong. I thought that you two were gone.
Well, the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. But if you must know, after you left, our fevers only got worse, and I did finally have to take Darla to the emergency room. I passed out in the waiting room. But I had already put down your mom's number as an emergency contact, so she came to pick us both up.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm just so glad to hear that you're both okay.
Okay? We're not okay at all. You have no idea what I've been through because of you. What about any of this is okay with you?
But I mean, I was so worried about you.
I really don't care how you're feeling at all. I want a divorce and nothing is going to change my mind.
Wait, hold on a second. What do you mean you want a divorce?
What do you mean? What do I mean? Do you not know what that word means or something? You chose your mistress over me, and that's really all that I needed to know to make this decision.
For the last time, Samantha, I haven't been cheating on you. I wasn't lying about my business trip either. Ask my boss if you want.
Oh, I would if it wasn't your boss who you've been cheating on me this whole time with.
Wait, how did you...
And I know that it all started those months ago when you started coming home late. You told me that you were busy, but then you never got unbusy, and that's when I started to suspect something.
But work really was getting busier. I swear.
Even if that is true, it doesn't negate any of what I've said at all. And it was all the more suspicious when you would just spend all day on your phone when you were at home.
But you don't have any proof either. You're just making accusations and jumping to conclusions.
Actually, I got suspicious, and so that's why I hired a private investigator to look into you. And now I have all the proof that I need to have a smooth divorce. Thank you very much.
Hold on. You hired someone to follow me around and see what I was doing?
Well, it was obvious you weren't going to tell me the truth, so I had to. For example, I know that your new boss's name is Cindy Smith, and that she's the woman you've been seeing, right?
But, I mean, please, you have to understand. I really was on a business trip.
Why can't you just be a man and admit when you've been caught? I know that you've been lying this whole time. I know that you've spent the night at this Cindy's house before. And all the while, you've been giving me all the child rearing to take care of while you've been out having fun for the past 6 months. Do you have any idea the kind of pressure that you've put me under while you've been doing all of this?
You're right. It was wrong of me to do that, and I realize that now. I see the error of my ways, and I promise that I'll change. I realized when I thought you and Darla were dead, just how precious you two really are to me. I instantly regretted all the lies and sneaking around. So please trust me when I say that it'll never happen again.
Oh, I know that it'll never happen again. But not because you say so, but because soon we won't even be married, and then you can go and do whatever you like.
Please, don't do this to me, Samantha. You don't have to do this, you know?
You didn't have to do a lot of things that you did anyways. But now, I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to make you pay for cheating on me, for lying to me, for putting all the work of taking care of the house and Darla on me. All of it! So my only advice for you right now is that you might want to think about hiring a good lawyer. Because you'll need one.
Oh, come on. You're really gonna sue me as well? Come on. Can't we just talk about this like adults? I know that we can work through this if we try. Hello? Samantha? Are you even reading these anymore?
I was actually already in contact with a lawyer to deal with Charlie. That was what his mother really meant when she was referring to all the legal stuff she was doing. And with all the evidence I had against him, the lawsuit and divorce all went by quickly and smoothly. In addition to getting paid a huge sum from Charlie and his boss, Charlie was also made to pay child support while I received full custody of Darla. Meanwhile, both him and his boss were fired for carrying on their affair at work.
Hey, Mia. We need to discuss a few things with each other. So first things first. I haven't been able to contact my son Caleb since yesterday. Nothing has happened with him, has it? He's normally very prompt in calling me or messaging me back, so what's going on with him?
Oh, hello, Annabelle. I suppose I better tell you that Caleb isn't feeling very well today. He's still asleep, so that's probably why he hasn't messaged you.
Wait, what? Is he sick? He was just fine yesterday when I was talking to him. Is he actually sick or just avoiding his mother? What am I supposed to do now? I've got something urgent that needs to be done, and I wanted Caleb to help me out. It's important that I get his help on this.
Well, I don't know what else to tell you, Annabelle. He's very much out for the count. I don't think he feels like moving today, so it's just not going to be possible.
Well, if he's not got any energy to move from his bed, then I'll just make my way over there by myself. I just would have appreciated his help.
Whoa, hold on just a minute, Annabelle. I think that you should stop coming to the house for a while. It's too much of a risk if you get sick.
What's going on exactly with Caleb, Mia? Aren't you going to tell me? Are you trying to tell me that you don't want your own mother-in-law in the house?
No, that's not it at all. Like I said, I don't think it's a good idea to have visitors because Caleb could have the flu or something. He really isn't well. It seems like most of the people at Caleb's work have contracted something like the flu. It makes me think that it's quite contagious. I think I'll be fine since I was vaccinated for this strain. But I was just wondering if you had your flu shots at all this year. Because it seems like there are multiple strains of the flu going around this year.
Oh, no. I haven't been vaccinated for the flu. I didn't know if I really needed it this year. I didn't think it would get so bad this winter.
Well, since you've not gotten vaccinated, I think it's best to stop coming around here so that you don't get sick and that we don't spread it to other people. It seems that the client that Caleb worked for because he got sick have also passed it on to other people, so that's not great. It's not recommended to meet up right now.
Well, that's very annoying because things were planned out, and now because he's sick it's going to cause a bit of trouble. We had something planned today.
Oh, is that so? I never heard anything from Caleb about this. I guess it's probably not the best idea to go through with your plans today since he's sick.
Well, I did tell him to not say anything to you. We were supposed to go out for dinner after Caleb finished work for the day today.
But like I said before, he's caught something, so Caleb isn't in a good condition to go out right now, Annabelle.
Well, Caleb was supposed to treat my friend to dinner. I don't know what they'll say behind my back if I cancel this dinner all of a sudden.
But I'm sure that they'll understand that he's caught the flu virus and you can set up the dinner for another time, right? They'll take that into consideration, okay?
Well, you've got no idea what you're talking about, Mia, because that's not the type of person they are. Even when I tell them my son is a lawyer, they don't believe a word I say at all. That's why I'm in trouble if Caleb doesn't show up at this dinner tonight. It's very important that this all goes exactly to plan, Mia.
But Annabelle, my husband is not in a fit state to move. He's in quite a bit of pain and he has a fever. You know what the flu does to you. It knocks a person out. First of all, if he goes to this dinner and if he starts spreading the flu around, it can impact a lot of people. That's a huge problem for everyone, so that's not happening. So I'm sorry, but I would appreciate it if you would just cancel this appointment to meet today. It's not going to happen in Caleb's condition.
This is not great, Mia. Could you at least treat me to some food for all the trouble that this has caused? It's just not fair that this is happening today.
Huh? What are you talking about, Annabelle? You want someone else to take you out for dinner? I'm so confused. Look, Caleb can't meet you today. He's sick.
I'm meaning you, Mia. I'm coming over to get the money now. I'll come to the front door and you can hand it to me, all right?
Excuse me? You want me to take money out of Caleb's wallet because he's sick and this is inconveniencing you? Without him knowing? That's a big ask, Annabelle.
Well, shouldn't you be the one who should be saving money in case something like this happens? Just let Caleb give me money then, okay? I've just calculated how much I'll actually need. Could you just hand over about $500 to me, please? And then I'll be on my way.
Excuse me, how much were you wanting? You need $500 for a dinner? That's a bit of a crazy amount, no?
Yeah, and so what? I need that much. For one person to do a course at the restaurant, it's about $100. So that's how much I'm requesting, okay?
I guess he has a little bit of money left, but this is a bit ridiculous, Annabelle. I shouldn't be taking this much money from Caleb.
Look, I don't care. Just take the money out of Caleb's wallet, alright? It's the least he can do for me for bailing on this dinner. He'll be able to tell you right away, so it's fine. Even if he's sick and asleep, all you need to do is wake him up so he knows that you're giving the money to me, okay? Do that for me, please.
But it's still something that I don't feel comfortable doing. I don't understand why you need this much for a dinner. And who are you meeting? This is really dodgy.
Stop complaining about it, Mia. I'm already in a taxi on my way to your house now, so the money better be ready for me when I get there. Also, I'm sorry, but pay for the taxi as well. I'll get in touch with you when I'm close by, so then I can just jump out, get the money, and then leave again. So please, be waiting outside for me.
Look, this isn't going to work today. Please refrain from coming over here. There is too much for us to handle since Caleb's sick. Please understand that, Annabelle.
I've already told you that I'm in the taxi and I'll be there in a little while, okay? If you don't open the door for me, I'll keep pressing the intercom button until you do.
Look, there's no need for you to do that, all right? Fine. I guess I'll see you soon. I'll be waiting for your arrival.
Look, you should have been saying this from the beginning so that we wouldn't have any problems. I'm Caleb's mother, and I can do what I want. The only reason that you're able to live the way you do is because of the smart lawyer's son that I gave birth to. Make sure you listen to what I say.
Hi, Annabelle. I'm slightly confused over what I've received today. I got some bills that were addressed to you. What are these for, Annabelle?
Oh, that. I think it's a bill for something that I ordered online. Wow, alright. Could you be a dear and pay for it, please? Thank you.
I'm sorry, what did you just say? But I don't get why we should be the ones who have to pay for this when you're the one who bought it. I guess we can.
Yes. I'm not looking into all the details, but it was something that Caleb bought for me, and so he can pay for it. I think it's normal for a son to part out things for his mother.
Okay, but when I went and asked him about it earlier, he said he knows nothing about it, so it's a bit difficult for us to pay for your shopping expenses when we don't know about it.
Look, Caleb is a lawyer, right? He can pay for things immediately because he earns tens of thousands of dollars for his job. I don't see the problem in him parting out for my shopping.
Yeah, but the total purchase was about $1,200, Annabelle. Who spends that much money in one go? It doesn't make sense to me. It also doesn't make sense to Caleb either. I think that if anyone looked at the bill, they'd be surprised to receive something at that amount.
But it was only about $1,200, right? That's not that much in the big scheme of things. It's not like I'm buying branded items or anything, okay? I feel like that's not a surprising amount to spend on things at all, since inflation is so high these days. So I don't think there's any need to worry about it.
Annabelle, you do realize that I know that this isn't the first time that you're doing something like this, right? Did you think I'd blindly pay for something you bought?
Huh? What's that supposed to mean? What do you mean, my first time? I've got no idea what you're talking about, you silly woman. Stop making me confused.
Don't act like this, Annabelle. I know you've been making Caleb pay for the bills that you've run up before. This isn't a new thing to me. Money isn't infinite with us, okay? This is almost beyond a joke now. Could you please stop depending on my husband and pay for things yourself?
What on earth are you saying to me? It's my son's duty to help me out with payments like this, especially since he's a high-paid lawyer now. There's absolutely no reason for his wife to be complaining about this to me. I'm his mother, and I'll do what I like. Don't be so stupid, Mia.
I'm not complaining at all, Annabelle. It's a request that I'm asking. When we got married, our household finances have remained the same. However, I've noticed lately that a lot of Caleb's salary is going towards what you spend, Annabelle. He's not your piggy bank, okay? How is your allowance over $1,500 a month, huh? It's so much money that he's sending you, so I think from now on, I'd like for you to keep a record of any other expenses apart from the essentials you spend on written down.
Wow, are you kidding me? Is this the woman who married my son talking back to her own mother-in-law? I'm outraged.
No, that's not what I was doing at all. I'm just making requests for you to do so that we can make this an easier situation to handle.
Well, I don't intend on listening to your request. It's stupid and it doesn't need to be done. My son owes me since I raised him to succeed in life.
Well, if you actually just listen to what your son is saying to you, you'll understand that he can't make ends meet due to the mounting expenses you're wanting. If you can't afford the expenses yourself, then you need to please save up your own money until you can buy whatever you want. That is what a lot of people do.
Oh, Mia. You know, due to me and my ex-husband's circumstances, we had a divorce, and I was separated from Caleb. But once it was sorted, we were able to finally communicate with each other as we liked. Do you know what it does to a parent and child relationship when someone interferes when they want to communicate with each other, Mia?
Well, if we're on the topic of communication, you need to talk to him more about the expenses. Frankly speaking, I think that you're counting on my husband's money to pay for your lifestyle.
Excuse me? What did you just say to me? Do you seriously think I'm counting on my son's money? How dare you distort my son's favor to me like this? You need to break up with Caleb this instant. You're definitely not a good match for my kind and loving son anymore.
We're both married and happy with each other, so there's no way we're breaking up, Annabelle. Also, if you're going to rely on his money, it's best not to contact him for a while. Caleb has so much going on right now that he can't afford to waste time and money on your extravagant purchases. Please, just let him be for a while.
Why are you saying such incomprehensible things, Mia? There's no way that I'm going to obey your instructions. Next time you say something like this to me, you'll break up with Caleb. My son is looking after his mother's love. I'm the one who gave birth to him. You're just some stranger. Don't even think about asking me which person is more important here, okay?
Annabelle, what on earth is this photo that you sent me this evening for? I don't get why you're sending this to me.
Oh, that photo? I guess you're pretty curious as to why I sent it to you, huh?
Well, I guess I'm curious, yes, but it's more because I don't really understand why you're sending this to me. It's a photo of the interior of a condo, right? And then you said you'd be living there next month or something. Are you planning on marrying some new guy we don't know about or what?
Haha, you silly girl. You're very much wrong about that. I bought the condo for myself. This is my one and only castle that I need in my life.
Hold on just a minute. What? You bought a condo? A condo for yourself? What on earth for? Why do you need a big condo when you live on your own?
Well, about the condo, I'm not quite paid for the entire deposit yet, but this is my dream home and I'm going to live in it.
Okay, but it makes me wonder where you got the money from to be able to buy this place, considering the little conversation we had last week.
Well, I borrowed the money for the deposit from various places. Even though my son said that he'd pay for it, I was told that I couldn't move forward with the contract unless I paid the deposit.
Now just hold on a second. Caleb is paying for the deposit? He actually told you that he would? Since when?
Yes. We've already talked it over and we agreed to it. My son's going to put a deposit down for me. For this luxury condo that I can't wait to live in.
I really think you're misunderstanding the entire situation with your son, Annabelle. I don't think he would have made a promise like that to you, okay?
My son is earning a lot of money and me saving money are two different things, all right, Mia? He's able to afford a condo, okay?
But how can he if we basically have nothing in our savings account because of you? We've got nothing. My husband has no money right now, Annabelle.
Huh? How can that be when my son's a lawyer, Mia? There's no way that you've got no savings. Is it because you don't like me taking it away from you? That's why you're lying to me about how much money you really have in your bank account.
No, I'm telling the truth, Annabelle. My husband really doesn't have any savings. But yes, it's all because of your spending that he has no savings. He has no money left.
Why on earth are you turning around and saying it's my fault, you stupid girl? He should be giving me money after all the things I've done for him.
How much money did you make my husband spend on you, Annabelle? You don't remember anything about it, do you?
Oh, come on. I think we all know that it's not that much money, yes?
Well, when things accumulate, it becomes a mountain. I'm really disappointed in how you use your son for money. You bought a condo without saying anything to us, and you're making Caleb pay for it.
Well, there's something wrong with the daughter-in-law. She has to defend her husband from his own mother.
Oh, don't talk rubbish. There is something wrong with you, Annabelle. You harp on about how you were separated from your husband when Caleb was little, but you just use him now. I heard that your affair and the lack of childcare caused that divorce to happen, right? And yet now that Caleb's in your life, you're making him spend money on you. Please stop this nonsense at once.
Well, things happened, okay? There's never been a day that I haven't thought about Caleb. You don't know anything, so don't jump to conclusions.
Well, you do realize that Caleb isn't going to listen to a word you say anymore. He doesn't need you ripping him off like this, Annabelle.
No matter what you'll say or do, I'll make Caleb pay for this. I know his address and workplace, so don't bother avoiding me. I'll be living in that condo very soon. Hey, What's going on here? Where on earth are you both? When I went over to Caleb's office today, they told me that he had quit.
Yeah, that's right. He quit being at that law firm. It's too bad that you weren't able to meet up with him, Annabelle. Such a shame, actually.
That's right. What the heck is that supposed to mean? What's going on? I also went to the house and I pressed the intercom and no one answered. I can't get a hold of Caleb on his phone either. What the heck is going on here? Up until now, I've heard nothing and you've taken so long to reply, Mia.
Okay, well, if you hadn't guessed already, Annabelle, Caleb has decided to cut all ties with you as he wants nothing to do with you and your schemes anymore.
Excuse me? What did you say to me? I blinked out on that message. He decided what? Why would he stop talking to me for?
I guess you didn't get the hint when he quit his job and we moved to a new place, huh? I thought that you'd be able to read between the lines, Annabelle. He doesn't want anything to do with you ever again, not after the way you've been treating him for the past few months or so. He's so over having a relationship with you.
Whoa, just hang on a minute there, okay? Please tell me where you both are right now. Please. I just want to meet up with Caleb so we can talk.
We're not telling you a single thing about where we live or what we do for a living now. He doesn't want to meet up with you, Annabelle. Don't you get that?
Are you kidding me right now? I'm his mother, for goodness sake. Are you brainwashing my son from having anything to do with me? I bet 100% that you are. Tell Caleb to reply to me immediately, you evil witch. You can't keep my son away from me. He's a grown man, but he still needs his mother.
If anyone here is an evil witch, it's you, don't you think, Annabelle? It's all your fault since the beginning of his life. You left Caleb all alone with a high fever while you went and had your affair, didn't you, Annabelle? It was all your fault that Caleb was knocking on death's door, wasn't it? It was only when he became an adult and a lawyer that you approached him again, right? You've had this plan from the beginning, haven't you, Annabelle? You wanted his money, and you know how careless you are with it, so you begged him to pay for things, right?
That's absolutely not true at all. You've got no idea what I was going through, and I'm not careless with money. It's not my fault that I leave him alone at a young age.
I don't care what you say to get out of your responsibilities anymore, Annabelle. Everyone knows that this is your fault. We've got no intention of having a relationship with you anymore.
You don't understand my situation at all. I was so happy to be able to meet up with Caleb again after such a long time being apart. After getting divorced, things weren't going well for me. I was in a lot of financial hardship, and I didn't know where to get my money from. So of course I had no choice but to rely on Caleb for money and things like that.
You had no choice? Really? You're going to make some lame excuse so that you can get away with this? Did you not feel any guilt for taking his money, Annabelle? The only reason that Caleb gave you money in the first place was because he thought that it was going to be a one-time loan that you'd pay him back. But no, despite that, you continued to be careless about money and asked him for more. Once Caleb became reluctant to let you spend the money, you gave us all trouble for it. You do realize that you kept pushing Caleb into a corner so that he couldn't easily get out of paying you, right? It's all your fault that he had no savings for a long time.
Look, I didn't mean to corner him, okay? That wasn't my intention at all. But think about it. My kid is a lawyer, so of course he's going to have more money in his pocket than the average person. At least all he could do was give me a little bit of help. I thought that this wouldn't cause any trouble since he was helping out his poor mother.
As I told you the other day, Annabelle, he's got nothing in his savings account now because of you. But money wasn't the only reason that you were backing him into a corner, was it? You also emotionally and mentally hurt him by the fact that you were taking advantage of your position as a mother. Who does that to their own child? Caleb's currently suffering from a mental illness due to the stress that you're putting him under, and just your presence alone makes him tense. That's why he decided to quit the job he was in and run away, because he didn't want to be anywhere near you and didn't want to give you money anymore.
Okay, I get it. That's fine. He can just wire me the money from now on. But before that gets organized, I have to deal with the money for the condo.
Did you not hear a word I just said to you, Annabelle? He's got no money, and he doesn't intend of giving you anything anymore.
But how am I supposed to afford to pay for this condo if he's not going to help me out financially, Mia? Please, just make him give me the money. I'll pay it back, I promise.
No way, I'm not going to do that to him. He is stressed enough without you telling him to hand over money. You've got a huge spending problem, and you need to sort it out on your own.
But I need my son. I need the money. Please, you both got to help me out here. You're not going to make me live on the streets, are you? Tell Caleb I need him.
You don't need him. You only need his money. He doesn't want or need his mother creating this sort of stress and tension in his life. Leave him alone or I'll involve the authorities. I'm going to block you now. I am done talking to a woman that has no idea the damage that they've done to their own child. You deal with your own finances from now on, Annabelle. After Mia ended the conversation with her mother-in-law, Annabelle canceled her purchase of the condo that she so desperately wanted to live in and apparently never got the deposit back. Annabelle was left with only the debt she had from borrowing money for the deposit. Mia and Caleb never send any money to her, so they've got no idea where she's living. Since living in the United States can have its ups and downs, she might be dealing with a few problems. With Annabelle's personality, I don't think people will stick by her, so she's probably got no one to rely on. They don't care what happens to her, but they hope to never see her again. Now that Caleb and Mia have moved, his health improved and he's recently been able to do a lot of housework. After his parents divorced, his dad took him in and they ended up living at his grandparents' house. He didn't have the happiest childhood and he had many things to think about when he reunited with Annabelle. Despite that, Annabelle continued to force Caleb to pay her out of his own pocket and tormented him mentally because of it. They think it's okay now to just ignore people when they ask them for money now. It seems that what you experience as a child can't be so easily dismissed when they become an adult. Once you live that trauma, it can stay inside your mind and make you feel so much worse about life. Caleb didn't want that anymore, so he cut his mother off from her. Mia continues to support her husband with the treatment he's receiving. She hopes they can experience more happiness together than ever before. Frida, are you there? Oh, I just wanted to give you all my love and congratulations. I'm so happy that you had the baby safe and sound. Jeremy's already sending me so many pictures of the little guy. Oh, you must have had quite the time in the hospital. I just hope that you're able to get plenty of rest from here on out.
In fact, right now I really don't see how people can choose to go for a second or even a third one of these.
Oh yes, I know exactly what you mean. I felt the same way after I had my first child. But I'm just so happy that I'll be getting to go over tomorrow and meet my grandchild.
No, I don't mind at all. Please, come by all means.
Excellent. I'll do just that then. Is there anything you'd like me to pick up on the way to your place?
Actually, if you could bring me maybe a bag of some sweets or candy and give it to the nurse to hand to me, that would be great. In fact, there's actually a really nice bakery that makes some amazing cakes not too far from the hospital. So maybe just actually a big slice from there?
You really think it's okay to bring a cake inside the hospital? I don't know. I'm sure that the hospital is interested in keeping as much control as they can over their patients' meals.
Oh, come on. It'll be fine. It's just a cake. Just buy me one, please. I'll leave it up to you to choose what kind of cake, though. Oh, and one more thing. I am starting to get into that kind of angry phase of the postpartum.
The angry phase? What do you mean by that? Is everything okay?
Well, I just think that my hormones are all out of balance, and I think it's going to be like this for a while. So I am really sorry to say this to you, but once I'm out of the hospital, I would appreciate if you held off from visiting. I'm not trying to be mean, but I just wanted to be direct with you. That, and I'm afraid that I might do something to hurt you.
Okay, dear, I understand completely where you're coming from. How about you just reach out to me once you feel that this hormonal issue of yours is past, okay?
Thank you so much for understanding. It really does mean a lot for you to be so patient with me.
Of course, it really is all my pleasure, and in the meantime, you feel free to ask if you need anything. After all, I'm sure you have your hands full enough with your own parents coming around. But just know that I can do any kind of shopping that you might need while you're recovering.
Thank you so much. I am sure that I'll probably have to call on you soon. But for now, I'm going to rely a lot on Jeremy. It's just a shame that he also has so much overtime to work with his company. So like I said, I'm sure you'll be hearing from me before long.
Excellent. Well, I just hope that my son knows that he has to help you even after he gets home from work. There's going to be a lot of big changes for the two of you, but I know that you'll be able to handle it.
Thank you so much for all that you do for us, Donna. But I think we're going to be just fine. As long as Jeremy and I do this together, I know that we'll be okay.
And you make sure to use my son and make him earn his keep. Meanwhile, I know that you'll be busy around the clock with the child, so just make sure that you can find the time to get rest when you can. You've done something amazing here, you know.
Hey, Donna, are you there? Would you mind going out to buy me some more diapers? Just the same size and brand that you got last time will do. Also, I was wondering if starting from tomorrow, you might be able to start making all my meals and just bring them over in Tupperware. I've just been so tired lately and haven't gotten any sleep, so I just can't even cook for myself at this point.
Oh, I'm so sorry about this, Frida, but I actually have some engagements this evening that I can't miss. So I won't be able to go out and get you the diapers that you need. As for doing that much cooking, I just don't know if I can swing that. I would have to go to the grocery store and get quite a bit since I'm running low on food myself.
Well then, it sounds to me like you should be going to the supermarket either way, right?
You're right, I will need to soon, but I don't have time to do it right now. And besides, cooking that much food for you is going to take some time. So I'll tell you what, I can get you the diapers, but I can't do the cooking for you, okay?
Oh, come on, you're a great chef. I know that you could make something amazing even if you just took an hour to cook. I was just watching on TV. They had one of those chef shows on and the woman made a huge, amazing meal almost in an hour. I just know that a veteran housewife such as yourself could probably do the same thing, if not much better than some TV chef could.
I appreciate your confidence in me, but I think those people get on TV precisely because they are pros at what they do. And yes, while I have been a housewife for most of my life, I don't know if I'm up to making 3 separate meals for you, because you're making it sound like you want me to be making you breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay, you're right. Maybe I was asking for a bit much, but how about just one day's worth of food? You could do that for me, right?
Yes, I suppose that I could make just 1 day's worth of food for you.
Great. Well then, what I am really craving right now is a good hearty stew. But I'm also on a diet to lose the baby weight, so make sure it's a healthy one.
So if you want me to make a kind of hearty but healthy and light stew... Okay then, I think I actually might have what I need for that in my house already.
Excellent. Then please make me something good. I would ask Jeremy to do it, but he's just so useless in the kitchen that there wouldn't even be a point.
Oh yes, I remember what messes he used to make in the kitchen when he was little. He really should learn how to do better one day.
Well, I certainly do agree with you there. I mean, I don't think he could cook to save his life. And here I thought we were living in a time when more men were supposed to know how to cook. But at least we have you to come in and a pinch hitter.
Well, of course I'm happy to help, but I also just thought you should know that Jeremy's younger brother's wife is also pregnant. So I just worry that my life is going to be getting very busy from here on out. And it might make visiting you as often as I do now just a bit more difficult.
Oh no, please don't tell me that. You know how much I rely on you for all this help, right?
Of course I do, yes, but the thing is that this other daughter-in-law of mine, Ginny, both of her parents have passed away. Not only that, but she has a bit of a weak constitution, so I just worry that she'll need more assistance.
A weak constitution? Then it sounds like she'll just be doing a lot of lying around and won't need all that much help.
Well, I appreciate why you might say that, but I don't think that's quite the case here. And so anyways, in the future, I might not be able to change my plans as easily as I'm doing for you tonight, all right? I just wanted to explain that to you now, so there's no surprises in the future.
But I actually have my kid. It sounds like this Ginny woman hasn't even given birth yet. Why are you telling me that you're going to be prioritizing her when she hasn't even given birth to her baby yet?
Well, I'm sorry, but I think I've been giving you plenty of help the past 6 months.
So what? There was a limit to how much you were going to help me? You were just waiting for the next thing to move on to?
I'm sorry, Frida, but I don't think I feel comfortable if you're going to talk to me like this. Please don't talk to me again until you've calmed yourself down.
You have no idea how hard it was pushing that baby out of me. And then you told me that I could count on you for everything. But I guess now we know who your real favorite grandchild is going to be.
You know that isn't what's going on there. Please, why can't you just listen to me? All I'm saying is that I won't be able to help you at the same rate that I was last time is all.
Well, fine then. If that's all you're saying, then how about I have you on the weekdays, and you can go and help this Ginny woman on the weekends? After all, I am married to your oldest son, so I should be getting the most time with you anyways.
I really don't think that you're being fair to Ginny or I at all. I mean, we're all family, and that means we should be understanding of each other.
And I don't think that you're understanding what it means to be with the wife of your older son. Not only that, but I gave you a male grandchild too. But I guess that even giving you little James wasn't enough for you, was it? Are you trying to insult me?
Of course I'm not trying to insult you or anything like that at all. I just don't think it should matter whether it's the child of my first or second son or whether anyone has a boy or girl. But I am saying that it's been 6 months since you've given birth, and maybe it's time you start doing some work around the house for yourself again. I mean, my support was always going to have its limits, so I don't understand this reaction of yours.
I guess you really just don't understand what you're doing to me at all then, do you? Okay, well, if this is the way that you're going to be, then can you at least come over 3 times a week? But just know that you'll be cleaning up the messes that get made while you're away too, so it won't be easy for you.
I'm not going to promise anything, but I will help you when I'm able to, like how I'm bringing you diapers.
Right. Yes, please do bring those to me, and you can just leave them in the drop-off box in my building when you get here. I'll go down and collect them myself once you tell me that you've left them there. Hey, Donna, are you there? I was just curious if Jeremy gave you any updates about James' first birthday party.
Oh yes, he told me that was going to be happening next month, is that right? I can't believe that it's already been a year since you had that little fella. I would just love to see him since it's been so long. I've been looking forward to the party ever since Jeremy told me.
Well, about the gift, I was hoping that you can get some baby clothes from a really, really nice brand or something like that.
Are you sure you only want clothes for James? I was thinking I would get something with a bit more longevity.
Well, when he's an adult, all the fancy clothes are going to be costing him thousands of dollars. So I'd at least like him to have it dressed nicely when he's a baby. And if the clothes don't happen to fit him or when he outgrows them, I can just resell them online, so it's perfect.
So basically you want clothes that you can flip on eBay once James outgrows them?
Oh, and by the way, I wanted to ask if you wouldn't mind cleaning up my house the day before the party. I just want everything spotless for when my parents arrive.
Sure, I can do that. I guess I'll arrive at your house the day before the party then. But at least that means I'll get to see James twice that week.
Oh no, neither James nor I is going to be at the house while you would be.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Why wouldn't either of you be there?
Well, because on that day I'm going to be taking James with me while I go and visit some friends of mine. So it's only going to be Jeremy at home. Although, since he has work, I think that he's just going to be there to hand you the keys to our place is all.
I see. Well, then I guess it's a good thing that at least I'll be seeing him the next day. Although I'm afraid that Jenny won't be able to make it to the party. Oh, she's grown so much in this time and can hardly move.
I really think that you were being way too soft on this woman, Donna. I mean, if she really wanted to come, she could just hire a cab or something.
I know what you mean, but I think she wants to take every precaution, and the doctors are saying she should take it easy as well.
Well, I don't see how not moving is any good for the baby, but whatever. It's not really my problem. I guess I'll see you on the day of the party. Don't forget to come early to clean. Hello, Donna? I'm just so sorry to ask you to do this, but could you just drop off your present and then go home?
Frida, oh, I have to say that I'm just a bit shocked at this request of yours. I mean, I come all this way to your house 2 days in a row now, just for you to turn me away?
Well, I'm sorry, but I only ordered enough good food for the family. But then, you were never actually invited to the party. Jeremy just got it in his head that I let you be here. But the fact of the matter is that I only wanted you here so you could clean the house and give my son his gifts. But now I don't want you coming around anymore.
Well, fine then. Maybe I won't come around anymore then. But I'm afraid that means you'll have to leave this house.
Wait, what? What would it mean that I have to leave the house? I mean, it's only like half the price of other houses in the neighborhood, and it's so nice. I really don't think that we're going to be moving from here anytime soon.
Well, you might just have to, since I am the owner of the house after all. And the reason you have such a good rate on rent is because Jeremy came to me begging for a place to live.
Oh, please. Do you really think that I'm going to believe a silly lie like that? You're going to have to do better if you want to fool me. The fact of the matter is that you've been nothing but a housewife for yours. So just why would I think that you also own this house? That was just a sad attempt to trick me, and it isn't going to work at all. I knew that I was right to try and keep my son away from you.
You know, I actually have only ever met James once, ever since you gave birth to him. But now I'm starting to realize that you were keeping him away from me this whole time on purpose.
Well, no duh. Of course that's what I was doing. I mean, did you really think I wanted my little boy hanging around an old hag like you? I was never ever going to let you take care of him, and I always hated when you try to make up excuses to try and see him.
I see. Well, you can go ahead and tell my husband that, if that's the case. I don't want anything to do with any of you again.
Oh, trust me, that works just fine for us. I know that Jeremy was already getting sick of you coming around all the time. So neither of us will have any problem at all with cutting you out entirely out of our lives. Have a nice life. Donna, are you there? I just wanted to say how deeply sorry I am.
What's this all about? Don't tell me that you were just talking to my son.
Yes, I was talking to him and he said it was all true about renting the house from you.
Well, good. I'm glad that you finally understand the truth. You have until the end of next month to move out. And don't worry, I won't even charge you any rent for that last month.
But you can't do this to us. I mean, think of my son. What's going to happen to him and I? We can't just be forced to move all of a sudden. I mean, I was going to try and move in with my parents, but even they're saying they don't want to live with me anymore.
Well, I don't really have anything to do with that, I'm sure. But if you read the renter's agreement, you'll see that I reserved the right to kick anyone out, and Jeremy agreed and signed it.
Yes, I'm aware of all of that. Jeremy is actually very, very upset with me.
Oh, really? Oh, you mean he's actually mad at you? I wasn't sure if he had it in him. Although when I was getting kicked out of the party yesterday, I did notice something. This wasn't the first time that you had made troubles for him, was it?
No, it's true. He's been upset about my attitude towards you for some time now. He's always telling me to quit taking advantage of you.
Well, yes, I would say that I have to agree with him on that one. After all, I offered to help you, and you just used me like some sort of maid. I'm sure that you didn't think that I noticed, but I knew what you were doing this entire time. And I'm glad that Jeremy finally seemed to start waking up to the way you were treating me as well, but that isn't going to change my mind about anything. You all have got to leave this house, and that is final.
Please, Donna, I'm begging you not to do this. Can you please reconsider? You don't have to put us through this, you know.
Do you really think that you're in any position at all to be able to ask me not to do this? For the past year, I've been cramming my schedule of running errands for you, buying diapers, delivering takeout food even. And all the while, I've only ever gotten to see my grandchild once. Here I thought I was finally going to see him for a good amount of time on his birthday, but then you have the gall to turn me away at the door. Well, I am sorry, but I really don't want anything to do with you at all after such a nasty experience.
And you're right. I shouldn't have done what I did, and it was really, really wrong of me. I know that you're a very kind, sweet person, and I admit that I took advantage of that kindness. And I guess that all the while you were coming over, I just had it in my head about how wives never get along with their mothers-in-laws, and I guess I let that paint how I saw you.
Is that really what you have to say for yourself? You were treating me the way you were, all because you had some messed up notion of how mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law are supposed to treat one another?
I know that's not an excuse for what I've done, but it's the truth. So please, change your mind about this. We won't have anywhere to go if you don't do this.
I really think that that is an overstatement. You have plenty of options of places to move.
I know, but you don't understand how difficult the market is for buyers right now. The only places we could really afford without a huge jump in rent are all old and so far away from our work and life.
So you'll have less space and a longer commute. It really doesn't sound like the end of the world to me at all. But don't worry, if it's a matter of money, you can always just sell the clothes that I got for James. That's why you asked me to get him such expensive clothes in the first place, right?
You're right. I shouldn't have asked you to do that, but I wasn't really even being serious in the first place. I'm so sorry about all of this.
You can apologize all you want. Nothing you say is ever going to change my mind about this. Got it? I have tried so hard to get along with you. I did my best to be there for you when I thought you might need some help, and all you did was use me and never once give me a real thanks.
But if you don't stop your decision to kick us out of the house, then Jeremy said that he might divorce me because of the way that I was treating you.
Is that really all you have to say for yourself? You're still only interested in saving your own skin even after all this?
Okay, fine. If you change your mind, then I'll let you see James more often. How about that? That's what you really want to happen anyway, isn't it? And I won't ever ask you for another favor. And I promise that I'll change my attitude and be the best daughter-in-law ever. So please, can't you just change your mind about this? You wouldn't really throw your first child out of his own like this, would you? Think about little James. He never did anything to you at all to deserve this.
You're right. James doesn't deserve any of this happening to him, and he certainly did nothing to deserve a mean mother like you. But it's like you said, you'll just have to cooperate with my son and learn how to parent James together. And only if you two can prove yourselves will I even think about changing my mind about you two. After all, I know that James is my first grandchild, but I am sick and tired of the way that you try and use that fact to extort favors and gifts from me. You think it matters what order or sex the babies are? I don't care about any of that. I just want happy and healthy grandchildren.
And I see now that that's all you've ever wanted from all of us. I'm just so sorry that it took me this long to realize all of that. So please, forgive me. I'm begging you.
If you really want me to forgive you for all that you've done to me, then you are going to have to promise me that you'll raise James right. That's all I want, and that's all I've ever wanted for this family. So until you have something to show for yourself, don't ever contact me again. Do you understand me?
Please, I promise that I'll raise James however you want me to. Just please don't kick me out. That's all I'm asking of you. Please don't kick us all out of this lovely home. Hello? Are you there? Donna? Hello? You can't just ignore my messages like this. You have to answer me. I'm your daughter-in-law. I married your oldest son. I had your first grandchild.
It sounded to me like after I was sent home from James's first birthday party that my son really started letting Frida have it. Jeremy was absolutely furious, not only after having found out to just what extent Frida had been treating me poorly. He was also understandably furious about being kicked out of his home as a consequence of the actions that his wife took against his mother. He was yelling at her for hours about how irresponsible she had been for doing that. Later on, I got some calls from Jeremy where he said he wanted to speak to me and apologize for all that Frida had put me through. He said that he understood that I wouldn't be changing my mind about anything, but I was glad that we at least both understood each other better. Afterwards, I heard from Jeremy that he and Frida actually managed to find a new place to live in that wasn't nearly as bad as Frida had feared. It was a 2-bedroom apartment, a bit far from where the two of them worked, but it wasn't the destitute painting Frida had described before. The only thing she didn't tell me was that she lied about moving in with her parents. In fact, her parents were trying to move in with Frida at their old place, but were bitterly disappointed when the real place they moved into was so small. So although the place they had moved into wasn't so bad for a regular nuclear family, it quickly turned into quite the scene after Frida's parents moved in. Already let down by where they ended up, Jeremy told me that Frida and her parents get into screaming matches nearly every day. As for him and Frida, Jeremy says that Frida is slowly improving her attitude. Finally, Jeremy reports to me that the two of them are doing their best to provide a good life for James, and I suppose all I can do is hope that's true. For now, my attention is focused on making sure I can have a better relationship with my second grandchild, Ginny's kid, and Ginny as well.
Rachel, are you there? I heard that you bought a new car recently. Is that true? Did you do that?
Oh, hello, Donna. Yes, it really is true. I've gone and bought myself a new car. After all, the last car I owned, I had actually bought as a used car. So it already had so many miles on it before I even used it.
Well, I was just thinking that. Isn't it a little too much to be buying yourself a new car like that? I mean, I guess I just wasn't aware of your financial circumstances like that.
I know that it's not a small purchase at all, but if I don't have a car, then I won't be able to do a lot of things as quickly as I need to. And I wanted to buy something that I was sure I'd be able to use for a very long time.
I understand wanting to invest into something like that, but I still just don't understand why you couldn't have just brought a used car or something like that. I mean, you know my son, your husband David, is always taking the bus to work, don't you? So why is it that my poor boy is having to take public transportation while his wife gets a brand new car?
you know that this car won't just be for me, right? David and I will both be able to use this car whenever we want.
Well, sure, you say that now, but you are the owner of the car, aren't you? You will be the main person driving it, isn't that right? I know that David doesn't drive or anything like that. Do you want to know how I know that? I have a few friends who actually live in the neighborhood, you see. And they tell me that they're always seeing you driving, so what do you have to say about that?
I see. Well, I just want to let you know that I'm really not telling David he can't use it or anything like that. I think that David just prefers to commute by bus, and so that's why he doesn't drive all that often.
What are you talking about? You really think David wants to be taking the bus now that it's gotten so cold?
I don't know what you want me to tell you. Either way, you still have to pay for gas to drive. But most importantly, I think David just likes taking the bus and doing what he does. Besides, I know that he does like getting the opportunity to get small walks in where it's possible.
Well, I suppose I am at least happy to hear that my son is always looking for ways to be able to take care of himself.
Oh yes, that he most certainly does. He's always fussing over what kind of food he'll let himself eat. But eating isn't everything, and I guess that's why he likes to get his walks in.
You know, I've actually been thinking about this for quite a while now, but you have some very, very odd spending habits. You know that?
Oh, really? What do you mean by that? I'm sure that I have no idea.
I just mean that, well, you do know how far David's office actually is from where you both are living, don't you? David tells me it takes about 3 hours total for him to go to and from work every day. Now, why can't you just let my son take the car to work? I'm sure that it would save him so much time on his daily commute. I just know that he would have an easier time if he were the one driving.
I understand what you're saying, Donna. I really do. But it's like I said, this is David's choice and I'm just respecting it. I'm really not forcing him to take the bus or drive or any of that. It's all him.
Well, if that's what you have to say for yourself, then here's what I have to say back to you. You are a nasty, nasty woman.
I am so sorry you feel that way, Donna.
And I don't think that you're a good wife for my son either. You don't have sense of what it means to be his wife. I mean, don't you know the kind of things a wife should be doing for their husband? You really need to just stop thinking of yourself. Do you know that?
I'm sorry, Donna, but I really don't think that I'm being selfish here at all. In fact, I think I'm being a good wife precisely by respecting what David wants to do.
Well, I don't see it that way at all. So what do you think about that, huh? I know that you only ever married David in the first place because of how much money he makes. But I seriously doubt that you have even the semblance of any real affection for my son.
Okay, well, again, I think it's really unfortunate that you think that way, but I really do love David. We both love each other very much, and that's why we're married.
Sure, you say whatever it is you need to make yourself feel better. But I know for a fact that you just tricked my poor son into believing you. And as his mother, I am going to make sure that he realizes how you tricked him so that he can finally wake up from this illusion. I won't let you just jerk my son around and use him like you've been doing this whole time. Hey, Rachel, just what the heck do you think you're doing, huh? Why aren't you at home right now?
Oh, Donna, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that you'd be coming over today.
Well, if you really want to know what I'm doing here, I just thought I'd drop in and surprise you all so that I could see what you've been feeding my son. But now you're not even home, so I'll ask again, where are you right now? Shouldn't you be at home getting dinner ready for your husband?
I mean, normally I am at home at this time, but I was called into the office in Chicago.
Chicago? What do you mean you were called in? What does that even mean? I bet you're just there on vacation or something, aren't you?
I really am here at work, not here on vacation. But since it's the end of the year, there's a lot of work that needs to be done here.
Don't you know that your husband should always be on the top priority list? But hey, at least you got use of my son's money so that you could treat yourself to a little trip. But tell me, have you ever stopped once to think about what my poor little David is going to eat while you're away?
I imagine that he'll probably order out a few nights, and some other nights he'll probably just cook for himself, like an adult. So, I really don't think there's any need to be acting like this.
You must be so pleased with yourself, huh? You really think that's going to be enough?
I think that David is an adult, and he knows how to handle himself, and that it's fine if he and I are apart now and then.
I am just so sick of having to put up with you. You have to know that you're nothing but a parasite on my son, right? You just use my son and the money that he makes from his job only to treat yourself to whatever it is that you happen to want at that day. I just feel so sorry for my poor David. I have no idea that a poor young man would end up in your clutches. And to think that he studied so hard to get into a good school, worked so hard to get his current position. And now that he's really hitting his stride, he somehow ended up picking up a little leech like you sucking at his side.
Donna, please. You need to stop treating David as if he's not aware of the decisions that he's making. I mean, you do realize that he's more than capable of taking care of himself, right? David has never had a single complaint about the way that I do or don't do things for him. So, while I appreciate you wanting to make sure that your son is being well taken care of, I can assure you that he is.
Well, as his mother, I think that I'm the one who can make that final judgment. Isn't that right? And if the woman that is going around using my son like her own personal piggy bank says that things are okay, then they surely must not be. And just who do you think you are, taking such an insolent tone with me anyways, huh? You should know better than to talk back to your mother-in-law!
I'm not trying to argue or take a tone, but it just feels like we have a lot of misconceptions between us that I'm trying to clear up.
There you go again! You just talked back to me right there! Honestly, I still have no idea how it is that my son ended up with someone like you. It just makes no sense at all. Most days I wish that David never moved out to the city. I just know that he would have been happy getting with a girl from our hometown. But now that my little boy has gone so far away, it's so much more difficult for me to keep my eye on him. And that's when you came into the picture.
Donna, I just think you should know that David and I make sure to put a certain amount of our incomes aside as savings every single month. I'm not just blowing through every single penny that we both earn.
Oh, please. How can you say that when you just bought a new car and I see you walking around with nice handbags from expensive brands all the time? I just know that you bought all of this not with your own money, but with David's money. Isn't that right? It's all thanks to my son that you have that $1,000 handbag. But don't you even feel the slightest bit guilty about what you've done to David?
Actually, Donna, I'll correct you there again. The bulk of the things that I own, I have bought and paid for myself.
No, that can't be right. That's impossible. You didn't even go to a good college. There's no way that someone like you could have afforded such nice things. Wait a second. I think I see what's going on here, actually. You were working before you got married to my son, isn't that right? I guess I just didn't realize you were doing, well, that kind of work.
And just what kind of work might you be referring to there? Huh, Donna?
Oh, please. You know what I'm talking about. You've probably taken money from plenty of men at this point, so it's no wonder you're so comfortable doing it to my son as well. How could I have not noticed this until now? It makes everything make sense! And it fits the image I have of you perfectly! You certainly do have the pretty face for it. I bet all you do is get the liquor flowing and then all those men were like putty in your hands. Isn't that right?
I can't believe that I'm even having to deny doing something like that, but no. You have no idea what I did or do for a living.
Well, it's the only thing that makes sense. You didn't go to a good school, so how else could someone like you end up with such extra money to spend? But now the question is, what will you do now that I know the truth? I certainly won't stand for someone like you mixing your genes with my son to create some horrible little brat!
Okay, Donna, I really think that you're starting to cross some boundaries that you shouldn't.
If you think that I'm crossing boundaries, then it must mean that I really am over the target with you on this. I've known something was wrong with you ever since you and David got married. You know, David would always try to buy me whatever it was I wanted on my birthdays. But then you came into the picture, and his budget for presents changed remarkably.
Well, the size of our families got bigger, and we suddenly had more expenses to worry about. Not to mention the fact that we started to get more serious about saving up money for our futures.
Rachel, you do realize that I am David's mother, right? The woman who gave birth to him. And that means I always know what is best for my little boy. This is something that I am always going to have over you, and that you are never, ever going to be able to change. But you are doing something to my son. Ever since the two of you got married, he's always acting so much more cold towards me. And even when I try to send him messages, sometimes it takes him so long to respond to me now. I don't know what you're saying or doing to him, but I know that all of this is your fault.
I really haven't done anything at all, though. I think that David is making up his own mind and acting accordingly.
No, that can't be it. I refuse to believe that. This is all your fault. It just has to be. It can't be any other way. I know that you're influencing my son to be more mean to me and draw back away from me and towards you. You brainwashed him, you witch!
Again, I really haven't done anything of the sort at all, and I resent those comments.
I don't care what you resent. I am not going to let you treat me and my son like this anymore. My son is a good, pure boy, and I will rescue him from your evil ways. So just watch out, because now you're on my list. And I always take care of my list, Rachel. Rachel, are you there? I heard that you turned down my request to David for me to move in with the two of you. Is that true? What's the matter with you?
I really don't even know what you think you're going to accomplish talking to me like this. But it wasn't just me. If you really must know, neither David nor I wanted you in here.
But that's not true! How dare you try to talk to me like that? You think you're better than me just because you can live off my son's money? You are nothing but a parasite, do you know that? How dare you try to come between my son and I?
Okay, let's make one thing straight here. Your son only makes about $1,200 a month. So are you really sure that you have all the information that you think you do?
What are you talking about? There's no way that my son makes so little money. That's impossible! I thought that he worked at a big company, right? I looked up the annual average salary of the company and it was quite huge. Well, how about you at least check your facts before lying to me?
I'm only telling you all of this because I talked to David and he said it was okay to tell you. But David doesn't work for that company anymore.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? What do you mean he doesn't work for that company?
I mean that he quit his job so that he could go back to school. So right now, David is only working part-time.
No, that can't be right. You mean my son has been working part-time for a while now? How can he even afford to take care of you both? How in the world did he manage to afford your new car?
Well, lucky for him, he didn't need to. I bought the car all on my own.
You mean you bought the car with all your own money? What could that mean? Are you seeing some man on the side who gave you the money for it?
No, it's nothing like that. I just went to work, earned money, and then I bought a car. You do know that I'm not a housewife or anything, right?
What is that supposed to mean? I know that you don't work if that's what you're trying to say. You almost never leave the house, right?
That's actually because I work from home, if you really want to know. So I don't have to commute. But you're right, in that I don't literally work in an office building every day.
Maybe you should try reading a bit more, or watching the news every now and then. I mean, really, just how did such a horrible liar manage to get my sweet little boy to fall in love with her?
I am telling you that there is none of that going on at all. I haven't lied to David about anything.
That isn't true. You aren't going to be able to trick me like you did with him. I know that David works for an amazing company that he would never just walk away from like that.
Well, he didn't just walk away from it like that. He had been working for the company for years, but he felt like he wasn't making the progress that he should have been.
And just what makes you think that you can talk as if you know more about my son than I do, huh? You really are an uppity little brat, do you know that? I will have you know that I reject your rejection for me living with you two, and I will be moving in with all my things soon. So you better have a room clean and ready for me by next week, because I will be living with you from then on, whether you like it or not! Rachel, are you there? Where are you right now?
I'm at my house right now, if you really want to know.
But that can't be right. I went to your house just yesterday. I told David what day I would be coming to move in, and I thought you both would be there. What the heck is going on here?
I guess you already know what's going on around here. We moved away from that house.
You moved away? Why in the world would you do that? Where did you even move to? I thought you both knew that I was coming to move in with you.
That's exactly why we decided to move away. You just decided that you were going to do that even after we told you that the answer is no. But you refused to listen to us. So we thought that the best solution would be to move away.
So then, you just moved to a whole new address without even telling me? How could you be so cruel? I mean, I am just shocked right now.
Well, how do you think I felt when you just announced that you'd be moving in with us? Anyways, this was as good a chance as any to finally move away. I just know that David was already at his limit with you. And he told me that he would be happy if he never had to see you ever again.
No, that can't be true! I know that my son would never ever say something like that! It can't be true!
But it is true. I mean, you do remember why we live where we do, right? It's because after we got married, you said that you wanted us all to live closer. And because of that, you were the one who made sure that David would end up with a 3-hour commute. Honestly, have you ever stopped to think about the damage you might be causing to other people's lives? No, of course you don't. You only ever think about yourself and nobody else.
But it's only because I was so worried about how the two of you would do as newlyweds.
I really don't think that was it at all, actually. I just think that you don't want your son going to live in a place where you couldn't keep your eye on him. Donna, I'm just gonna be very honest with you. The way that you've been treating David has caused him so much trouble in his life. You need to let him go and live his own life already.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with a mother wanting to stay close to her child? I let you two get married in the first place, didn't I?
You really don't care at all about just how much trouble you're giving us, do you? I mean, even through high school and college, you just never let him make his decisions on his own.
And look at how his life turned out. He graduated with great grades, got into an amazing school, and was even working at a great company until recently.
But don't you get that David was only doing all of those things because you were asking him to? I mean, David tells me that he's always felt like he's never gotten out of your shadow. I think you've done a lot of damage that you should acknowledge. Because the fact is that your son is his own man, and that I am his wife. So you need to stop whining about how much you dislike me. You're acting like a child.
But I made sure that he was the top of his class.
And I'm sure that you worked hard, and worked David hard to make that happen. But that's not what matters here. Don't you care at all that your son has grown up scared of you? For years, you've made David too scared to speak up when you were being overbearing. In fact, I think that if you weren't for me, that David wouldn't be able to find the strength in himself to turn down some of your more ridiculous requests.
But that's not even true. You mean that you've really turned my own son against me? That can't be true.
You have done that to yourself, Donna, but I hope that you're finally starting to get the picture. We don't want anything to do with you anymore. Actually, I just got a message from an old colleague of David's, and he told me that you'd been calling the office.
But, I mean, you told me he had quit his old job.
I did, didn't I? So then why were you bothering to call there? I mean, do you really still not get that the reason why he quit his job was so that he could take control of his own life? He wanted to be free of you, and that was one of the last big steps that he needed to take to do it.
You're taking away my only son! How could you be so cruel to treat your own mother-in-law like this? What am I supposed to do now without David in my life? Does this mean that David is going to stop sending me money every month as well? What am I supposed to do if you do that? How am I supposed to live?
You should know that for more than 6 months now, I've been the one to send you money, not David.
So then, you really mean to tell me that you've basically taken over taking care of all the expenses at home?
Of course. I mean, after all, David didn't have that much in terms of savings. I asked him why he didn't have more put away, and he said he was always trying to spend everything on gifts for you.
But, you mean, that's why my son doesn't have any of his own money?
That's right. And maybe you can finally start to understand just why David and I have been getting so frustrated with you. Anyways, now that we've cleared all of that up, I think that you and I are done here. Please never bother us again. After that, Donna tried to call and send messages to David, but by then, he had already blocked her on every possible platform she would be able to reach him on. I heard about this from some of David's relatives, but apparently, without us sending her money, Donna's quality of life took a huge nosedive. This relative told us that she had been reduced to clipping coupons and trying to provide for herself by starting a part-time job as well. In order to save money, Donna sold her house and moved into a tiny apartment in order to stretch her savings. As for David, he finishes his program in a few more months and has already gotten offers from companies for a much greater salary than he had had before. Of course, both him and I were crushed that things had to happen the way that they did between Donna and us, but we all agree that it's for the best. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and see more content like this.